Come and watch the Exorcist fight against the evil villagers." This fat man of 200 weighed a lot and embedded the iron chain into the roof of the car. He gritted his teeth and pulled the chain tightly, which actually caused a high-speed car to stop. The fat man grabbed the goalkeeper of the car. Exorcists hold tight in the face of such terrifying combat power. How should exorcists respond? This is the latest meaning of this issue. Dr. Qian's Exorcism Research Institute. Dr. Qian opened an exorcism research institute, but he has nothing at all. Psychic ability relies on excellent insight to solve various so-called evil incidents. On this day, he and his assistant Bao Yu were entrusted to go to a mansion in a wealthy area. The owner's youngest daughter was standing on the second floor gathering wind. The two of them were old and did not have a serious job. The owner, Wen Yan, quickly came out and explained that his daughter was originally being polite only changed his temperament because of the evil encounter. Dr. Qian suddenly changed his face and said that he smelled the rotting corpse. He smelled the smell nonchalantly, turned around, pointed out that there was something wrong with the stone statues in the courtyard, and then changed colors with Wawayu. The two immediately arranged the ritual ceremony. Qian was not just pretending in front of him. The giant fish took the opportunity to manipulate the mechanism. The white cloth wrapped around the stone statue oozed out. The water in the bowl of the bucket with blood characters turned into blood red. The giant fish continued to press the remote control in the palm of his hand. The ancient wind machine in the car immediately started working. The atmosphere was so perfect that the homeowner and his family were coaxed into running around. Unexpectedly, at the critical moment, the remote control failed. It turned out that the two people's car had been towed away by the traffic police because of illegal parking. The timer hidden under the stone statue was accidentally triggered and shot to everyone instantly. There are several young heroes behind him who are very agile. Now that the matter is over, Dr. Qian still has to finish the trick. He said that the evil ghost has been eliminated, but there are still some things to pay attention to. The male host must satisfy his wife's requirements recently. She can buy whatever she wants, and the little daughter needs it. Get a good rest and never go to a cram school for extra lessons. As soon as these words came out, the two women felt happy in their hearts. As soon as the little daughter heard that she didn't need to go to the cram school, she immediately bowed and apologized, saying that she was too short-sighted and didn't know too well. The master was indeed a master. In this way, Dr. Qian made a lot of money, and the two of them even carried away 10 items to sell in a second-hand store for money. That night, a woman named Yu Jing came to the office, but Dr. Qian refused to accept the commission. She felt that this woman couldn't afford the commission fee. Babyfish said, "Didn't you see her garlic ring? How could she not be able to afford it?" Dr. Qian explained that the ring was old and the size was wrong. It looked like it was a relic inherited from her mother. He hated it the most. Unexpectedly, when receiving such a miserable and urgent guest, Yu Jing broke into the office, poured a bag of cash on the table, and said she would pay the balance after everything was done. Of course, Dr. Qian will not live with money. He will immediately accept Yu Jing's commission and do it the second time. I followed her on the road the next day. Dr. Qian saw Yu Jing driving his father's car and carrying her mother's ring, so he speculated that he had encountered an accident and his parents had died. At this moment, Yu Jing saw someone in front of her and quickly turned the steering wheel to avoid Dr. K. Qian. The two of them saw nothing. They followed behind confusedly. The car drove out of the tunnel and entered a thick fog. Yu Jing came to a remote village where every household was surrounded by fog. It looked very strange to have a funeral. At this time, Yu Jing stopped in front of a house and led the two of them to visit the house. She opened the locked wardrobe in the bedroom and revealed her sister, Baby Fish, tied to a chair. She couldn't figure out what the song was about and she was scared. Yu Jing was a pervert and wanted to drag Dr. Qian away, but the latter became extremely interested. Wanting to know what kind of medicine Yu Jing was selling on Huo Road, she took the bell passed down from her ancestors and returned to the mansion with copper coins and arrows. She wanted to persuade the kidnapped girl to cooperate with her in acting. Who knows? The bell in his hand suddenly rang. Dr. Qian's face changed drastically, because the bell would only make noise when encountering ghosts. The girl stared at the bell closely, and then the whole room shook. Dr. Qian knew that this time was not a joke, and quickly took out the bell hidden in his waist. Unexpectedly, the next second, the girl broke away from the rope and knocked her to the ground. Yu Jing stared at the sister in front of him and discovered the evil spirit possessing her. It turns out that Yu Jing has a pair of special eyes that can see the existence of ghosts. Dr. Qian noticed Yu Jing's sight and immediately waved his sword in the past. At the same time, Brahma, the evil ghost hiding in the dark, felt Dr. Qian's power. But what concerned him more was Yu Jing's. The eye is the eye of snow that Brahma has been looking for. He manipulated believers to kill the villagers in order to find the eye. Unexpectedly, this treasure was on Yu Jing's body. Dr. Qian was about to leave the village when he accidentally saw a man in black behind him. After hesitating, he decided to go back to investigate and asked Wawayu to tell Boss Wang of the second-hand store that the bell rang. Boss Wang heard about it and immediately called Dr. Qian to warn Dr. Qian not to take risks. Then he took the treasure of the store to meet Dr. Qian. Hua Yu felt that the two of them were a bit baffled. Everyone was always picking on big gods to deceive others, so why did they suddenly become so serious? Boss Huang said there is something you don't know. Dr. Qian's grandfather was once a famous wizard. He always wanted to pass on what he had learned throughout his life to his grandson. But Dr. Qian has never been interested in wizards, so he deliberately concealed his talent and instead helped his younger brother win his grandfather's favor. The great wizard did not see through his small pair of shoes and was about to pass it on to his little grandson. Unexpectedly, the little boy suddenly disappeared mysteriously. The wizard found a talisman in his pillow and immediately performed a ritual to find the little grandson. Boss Huang was his assistant back then because of the kidnapping. The evil spirit that stalked my grandson is too strong. The ritual went on for 3 days and 3 nights before he finally found the other party's location. However, he failed to bring back his grandson and even lost his own life. When Boss Huang saw that Dr. Qian was helpless, he took him to wander around, fearing that he would encounter the evil deeds of the past again. The ghost didn't expect that after hiding for so many years, the bell still rang. On the other side, Fantian started to take action. He controlled the village chief to seize Yu Jing's eyes. At the critical moment, Dr. Qian arrived in time. He knocked down the village chief with his grandfather's 7-star sword. Unexpectedly, Fantian took control again. The little sister saw the girl escape out of the window. Yu Jing hurriedly jumped out of the window to catch up. Dr. Qian opened the little sister's pillow and found a blessing paper inside. She would never let the tragedy that happened to her brother happen again, so he quickly chased the two sisters. At this time, a van parked on the side of the road. Brahma showed a successful smile and controlled the little sister to get into the car and leave. The people in the car were none other than the group of believers in black. Dr. Qian and 2 people. They wanted to go back and drive, but unexpectedly, Fan Tian used the main tube to control the villagers and blocked their way. Fortunately, the 7-star sword is an artifact, and ordinary evil arts cannot get close to it. Fan Tian could only use the main tube to control others to help Yu Jing and led Dr. Qian to hide around, but Tian Tian refused to let him go and activated one bamboo tube puppet after another. Dr. Qian could not avoid it and could only force it. He did have 2 brushes and they were exhausted in a short time. Got all the bamboo tubes in Brahma. Yu Jing took Dr. Qian and left the 2 of them to find Boss Huang to discuss countermeasures. The latter wanted Dr. Qian to protect himself and not to have anything to do with Brahma. But Dr. Qian must avenge his grandfather and younger brother. Boss Huang couldn't convince the other party, so he took the 3 people to see another wizard, hoping that he could use the blessings in the pillow to calculate the current location of the little sister. And this wizard who manages demonic energy does have the ability to reason. Although others can't see anything strange, Yu Jing, it was discovered that the fairy in the painting really appeared. The fairy saw that this mortal could see her and got into the wizard. At the same time, Brahma's followers pricked the little girl's finger and searched for the location of Yu Jing through her blood. Just when the plan was about to succeed, the fairy discovered Brahma's little move and took action to seriously interrupt their legal affairs. Through the fairy's next narration, we can learn that the Eye of the Snow Seed has a deep relationship with Grandpa Qian. Back then, he did many evil things and brought disaster to the world. He can use human severed toes and bamboo tubes to control anyone he wants to control. Grandpa Qian is an outstanding wizard. He has always been at odds with Fan Tian, so the latter wanted to get rid of Grandpa Qian. He deliberately kidnapped his grandson and led his former grandfather into his own trap, then controlled the little grandson to assassinate the other party. The former grandfather is not a vegetarian. He has already stuffed the soft cushion in his chest. The former grandfather drew out the 7-star sword and stabbed the Shuijin talisman. This kind of talisman paper can trap evil. Gui Air Brahma struggled desperately and even broke the 7-star sword. In front of the grandfather, he hugged his grandson and took the opportunity to escape. Unexpectedly, Brahma cut the Snowjin talisman in half. He chased after him and swung his sword towards the boundary of the snow scenery talisman when the grandfather and grandson were about to step forward to catch the sword. Expand. Brahma was trapped in a stone cave. The wizard picked up the pillow talisman paper and said that ordinary methods could not destroy Brahma's talisman. Regardless of whether it is torn or burned, this piece of talisman paper will be restored instantly. Only Shuijin's eyes can break the magic power on it. Yu Jing Wenyan concentrated on staring at Fuji, and sure enough she saw a string of words. She wrote these lines down. Boss Huang stepped forward and recited the incantation, and as expected, blessing self-immolated and disappeared. The wizard kindly reminds Yu Ban that even if he can rescue your sister, mortal God will not let go of your eyes. Because the broken snow scenery talisman back then had limited abilities, it did not completely suppress mortal sky. If you want to really seal the evil ghost, you must put together the snow scenery talisman. This task can only be completed by Dr. Qian. Although the fairy felt that she did not have the ability, she still pointed out the direction. Long Yueshan said that the followers of Ignorant Heaven overheard that all the 2 parties went to Long Yueshan to find the other half of the Shuijing talisman. The giant salamander took out the flare and launched the fish mirror, and then used the Eye of the Snow Well to search for energy fluctuations. It leads everyone towards energy. Unexpectedly, he was blocked by an ancestral hall. Yu Jing saw that there were many ghost shadows inside, and ghost hands were constantly stretched out on the ground. Dr. Qian has never been afraid of these things. He took the seven-star sword and slashed open the door of the ancestral hall. As a result, Brahma sent him to the place where his brother was born. His grandfather pierced his chest with a knife, and his brother also thought about grabbing the sword. Dr. Qian was in so much pain that he could only close his eyes and strengthen his faith. Finally, he successfully broke through the illusion and found half of the blood neck talisman hidden here. Boss Huang beats the drum to lead the way and guides thousands. The doctor walked out of the ancestral hall. Now that the fragment has been found, the next step is to go to the place where Auntie Tian is imprisoned. It is bound to send someone to act quickly. Unexpectedly, Yu Jing saw the Lanlu woman again on the way and recognized her as her mother. Following the direction of her finger, several believers and villagers jumped out and attacked them, and they were all controlled by Auntie Titian. A huge Sun Chang of the London Guard jumped onto the roof of the car. He tightened the two iron chains on the car, then dragged the chain back with great force, actually directly forcing Dr. Qian's car to stop. Immediately afterwards, a believer drove a car and hit the village chief head-on, smashing the glass and breaking the car door. Or work with your companions to pull out the two protagonists. He strangled Dr. Qian tightly, not letting the latter go, and quickly used the Qi Shin sword to open him up. However, the village chief was as strong as an ox, and was difficult to deal with in a hurry. He was just like a little strong man who could not be beaten to death. He grabbed Dr. Qian's ankle and dragged him back. The believers took the opportunity to electrocute him, stun him, move him to the car, and leave the scene. At the same time, Brahma took back control of the village chief and carried it to Dr. Qian, almost eating out his New Year's Eve dinner. By the time Dr. Qian pushed the fat man away, he had long been unable to catch up with the believer. Fortunately, the babyfish arrived in time and took him to Brahma's lair at a high speed. Dr. Qian told Boss Huang to guard the entrance of the cave and blow up the entrance immediately if he saw the Yu Jing sisters running out. After saying that, she went deep into the stone cave alone, and the seven-star sword in her hand sensed another broken blade. Dr. Qian finally came to Auntie Tian. A battle was about to break out, but she only had half of the seven-star sword in her hand, which was no match for Brahma. The seven-star sword fell to the ground, and the resonance between it and the broken blade became even stronger. Dr. Qian was beaten to death and did not notice. The two broken blades were combined together. Yu Jing hurriedly tried to wink at Dr. Qian. Only then did he see the complete seven-star sword. With the artifact in hand, his strength increased greatly, and he beat Brahma. With each defeat retreating, Brahma urged the last believer possessed by the main talisman to strangle Dr. Qian with an iron wire. Then Yu Jing saw Fan Tian return to his original body. He took advantage of Dr. Qian to cut the rope and rushed out to make a sneak attack. At the critical moment, Dr. Qian heard the sound of drums, and it turned out to be Boss Huang using the magic weapon to help. He shouted and closed his eyes. Then the babyfish grabbed the flare launcher and rushed in. The dazzling white light was extremely dazzling. Dr. Qian and others took the opportunity to rescue the Yu Jing sisters. The group of people fled the cave quickly, and then activated the bombs arranged in advance. While Brahma was trapped in the ruins, Dr. Qian unfolded the complete snow scene talisman and stabbed the central seal with an arrow. He immediately unfolded Shi Hong's iron chain, trapped Brahma, and sealed him completely. Dr. Qian completed his mission in place of his grandfather. The film ends here. Although Yunji, Jiang Dongyuan, Xu Junhao, and other veteran actors still can't save the hilarious script, except for, there is nothing interesting except the special effects. The content is too thin and the setting is messy. At the end, there is nothing to arouse emotions. I feel that the male protagonist found the snowsuit very easily and subdued the villain without much effort. Fortunately, there are gorgeous and expensive special effects. Otherwise, it would be a waste of time.